about what's happening in the city now and about its history, because its history may be a bit complicated, you know, for some people. Because Wrocław belonged to 5 different countries. At the very beginning it was Polish, so first major date in history of Wrocław was year 1000, because in this year there was a gathering in Gniezno, and Holy Roman Emperor Otto III came to Gniezno, and he allowed Polish ruler to become a king. So that's the guy that you can see on 20 zloty note, Bolesław the Brave, so called. So yes, he became a king because of this gathering in Gniezno, and he also was allowed by emperor to establish 4 dioceses in Poland, one in Kołobrzeg, one in Kraków, one in Gniezno, one in Wrocław. So it is a proof that Wrocław back then in year 1000 was a very, very big and wealthy city. So that was year 1000. Later on, when 1226 Dominicans moved to Wrocław, the order of Dominicans, is another proof, because Dominicans were never, you know, going to any like poor little towns. They were opening their churches only in the biggest cities. So 1226, and then in 1335 the Czech kingdom, the Czech king claimed rights to the province of Silesia, so he was just, because Polish king didn't want war with the Czechs, he passed rights to Silesia province, so this province, to the Czech king. So from 1335 it became part of Czech kingdom. In 1526 there was a famous battle of Mohács between Hungarians and the Turkish Empire. So the Hungarians lost the battle, and according to very complicated, yes, the king of Hungary and Czech was killed in this battle. So according to some very, very complicated, you know, political games, alliances, marriages, blah blah blah, according to this complicated situation, the next person in the queue for the crown was Habsburg Emperor. Habsburg, it was a noble family that ruled like 1/3 of Europe at its best moments. So from 1526 to 1741, Wrocław became part of Habsburg Empire. In 1741 there was a war between the Habsburg Empire and Prussia. Prussia is what later became Germany, but so far it was not a big country like Germany, it was a group of little countries and 3 cities. It was called Prussia. So in 1741 there was a war between the Habsburg and the Prussians. The Prussians of course won, so Wrocław became part of Prussia. It was even one of 3 capitals of Prussia, along with Berlin and Königsberg, but its income, its annual income, was 2 times bigger than the income of Berlin and 3 times bigger than the income of Königsberg, so it was still a very, very rich city. In 1871 Prussia united finally because of Chancellor Bismarck, and when they united it became a German city, you can say, from 1871 to 1945. In 1945 it was the end of Second World War, and according to agreement made in Yalta Conference, Poland was like pushed to the west, and Germany were deprived of their eastern territories. So eastern territory of Germany was given to Poland, and eastern territory of Poland was given to Soviet Union. So Poland was like moved to the west, as I said. Most of the Germans were simply expelled, or they just, you know, didn't feel very welcome and safe in the city that was occupied by Soviet army. So yes, in 1945 the Germans left the city, and people that came here were the settlers from eastern Poland, as I said, because those territories were also emptied by the Soviets. So people that came here were mostly from Lvov. Lvov is a city in western Ukraine. Nowadays it used to be a Polish city before Second World War. So those people from Lvov, they brought some souvenirs with them, like this statue there. It was erected in Lvov, in the front of university. In 1897, it's a monument of Count Alexander Fredro, famous Polish comedian and playwright. His poems are, by the way, very, very obscene. So when I was reading them as a teenager, I was really shocked, and I was like, "Whoa!" people used to do such things in 19th century. Shocked. Anyway, it was brought here and placed in 1956 in Wrocław. So people from Lvov brought a couple of souvenirs more. So I will show you some of them. Yes, and now Wrocław is 4th biggest city in Poland. So the area is around 300 square kilometers, and the population is around 6,500,000 during school year. So, for example, now it is far more than 700,000 because there are many, many students. Yes, and Wrocław is mostly famous because of IT sector, because we have excellent University of Technology here. Yes, and also theater, for example, in one of those passages, parallel passages through town hall. There is a famous Grotowski Institute, which is a world famous theater. People from all over the world come there. Yes, and a couple of other funny things. Also river. There are 5 rivers in the city and around 200 bridges. So it is the 4th biggest in Europe by the number of bridges. Yes, so that's enough of history. Now we will go to so-called Solny Market, and eventually there I will be able to tell something interesting to you.